What is up, everyone? Welcome to the very first AOS Trash Panda podcast of the year. We're back, baby. Backstreet's back. And us too. I'm Rob. With me, as usual, is my co-host, Carson. How's it going, Carson?
It's going good. I appreciated the twisty-turny nature of your delivery there. It really kept me on my toes.
I'm just looking over, like, is the audio okay? Like, we tried to like make it a little more complicated and then and cool, and then, you know, I was hoping that there wasn't another, you know.
I think I'm gonna start talking like that more. Just being like, New Year's, happy?
Yep.
I'm Carson.
You are. He is. He still.
Hello, chat.
Still is.
Yeah.
What up, chat? Hey, Braden. Thanks for joining us. Hey, guys. I'm in Ixtapa, Mexico on vacation, so I've been needing my Warhammer fix. Well, then we are happy to give it to you. Honestly, Braden, we have too much content this week. Isn't that right? Like, we have way too much content. Like, any other week, each of these things gets divided up into, like, their own week. They get their own thing. But there's
That's
no...
what happens when we're gone for 2 weeks.
That's what happens? Yeah.
I think like the day after we were just like, all right, everybody, we're going on vacation. It's like Battlescroll.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Oh,
It's,
man.
Yeah.
It's been great. It's been fun. Like, you know, we do this typically every week, and like I've never taken, I don't think, like, I've only ever missed, like, I missed a week, I think one time, long time ago. But other than that, I don't think I've ever, like, just not done it since we started doing this, or since I started doing it, actually. So it was weird, like, not doing this on a Tuesday. Like, so I didn't do any of the stuff I normally do the first Tuesday, because that was Christmas Eve. So I was just like, you know what, I'm wrapping presents, I'm listening to Christmas carols and just having a good time. But then New Year's, I did everything else that I normally do except for the podcast, because you need another person to do the podcast. Like, I've done it in the past by myself, and I hate it. I actually really hate it. It's not fun, right? So anyway, should we pretend to, like, talk about how we don't know what we've been up to, what each other's been up to, or should we just go into it and just start going through all the plethora of content?
Let's go into it. I think, you know, that's what people are here for.
That's what they came for.
Personally, I had a pretty chill, like, holiday break. I didn't go anywhere, and I saw a lot of people. Like, I had, like, more plans with a bunch of friends than I normally do, which is kind of weird. It was like, I had nothing going up to it, and then everyone was just like, day after day, it's like, let's do something. I'm like, sounds good.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, that actually sounds rad. So.
I hadn't, like, the perfect 10-year-old birthday, it felt like, where I went, like, disco mini bowling with a bunch of friends. There was zero alcohol involved whatsoever, and we had, like, the granny bumpers up on the side. And we ordered, like, really crappy, like, bowling alley pizza. That was actually really good. I don't know why I said it was crappy. We had, like, slush puppies. Like, it was, like, the perfect childhood bowling birthday party. But it was just on Boxing Day for some reason, so that was fun.
That sounds freaking awesome. And just to be clear, your birthday is not on Boxing Day.
No,
it's just it was like it was a birthday party.
Exactly.
For a 10-year-old. I mean, hey, I dig it. I had a really great holiday, but it was busy. You know, I went over to my brother's and stuff, and we had to get a dog sitter, and our dog is very nervous, and so she was very nice, but I've got a feeling that our dog was a handful a little bit, just because he also, like, and he doesn't matter. So it was, you know, there was that. And then I got really sick just after Christmas. And so I missed a bunch of stuff that I was really looking forward to. So last year, our friends Darren and Veronica do, like, this yearly. Last year they started this tradition of doing, like, a mini exchange where you paint up a miniature, and then you wrap it up, and then you do, like, a gift exchange kind of deal. And it's kind of like White Elephant, or I forget the other, Yankee Swap, or whatever the other names I've heard for it in the past, where you can like steal other people's presents and stuff like that. It's not like the one anyway. So I couldn't go, but I did paint up a miniature, and I dropped it off, and then Veronica was like my, proxy basically. So she picked it for me. So she picked for me. I got this awesome miniature by Dan Say. He converted up a Go Trick, and this mini is actually insanely well painted. Like I just picked it up yesterday, and it's stupid good. Like the beard is immaculate. I was trying to have like the nicest painted mini. I was going to try and like win or whatever. Just like, I'm joking, of course, but just like, I really wanted to paint up a really nice mini, and just like, but like, man, this little tiny dwarf, I painted up a Myrmidon, an Ogroid Myrmidon. Anyway, it's a rad thing. I missed it 2 years in a row now, the second year in a row, because I was sick, and I'm super pissed about it still. But I had so much fun painting up the mini that I'm already planning out next year's miniature. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, regardless of what you got, mine was better because I got a collector's item. I got a Veronica painted mini.
That's true.
So
I
rare.
said that. By the way, I came up with that. So Veronica was telling me ahead of time, like I painted up a miniature and blah blah blah, and she was like, so like you probably don't want mine. Like I won't pick mine. Like even though I'm your proxy, because like I know what it is. And she's like, you probably don't want it anyway because I painted it, and I never paint. And I said, but Veronica, it's a collector's item, because like how many miniatures have you ever painted in your life? Usually her husband does it, FYI for the chat. And so anyway, I'm actually jealous, and I knew what it was. I ended up knowing what it was too. And so you got an Archregent painted by the Veronica of YouTube.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And she's also selling herself short. Like it's not a badly painted mini at all.
It wasn't at all. I don't know what she's talking about. She likes to smoke crack in her free time. I mean, no, that's not true.
Oh.
Anyway. Sorry. Wow. The digressions are off the charts this week, because we've been so on topic in our real lives that we, right?
What up? Just like just talking about your friend, being like, yeah, anyway, he was taking up crocheting. He does like to do black tar heroin on the side, and the crocheting is going really well. It's going great. Yeah.
It's really helping his focus. I don't know why, but yeah, because that's more of a thing of meth and cocaine, and even crack actually. But moving right along, Ledivicus, thanks for joining us. What up? The Sasquatch is here, and he can't be shot yet. But okay. So, digressions not over for sure, but we should talk about this silly rumor engine that's in front of us. I have no idea. I didn't look. I didn't ask. It's very small. Like that GW, like pixelated pigment is on full display here. Clearly a metallic paint here. But yeah, what do you think?
I don't know what this is. You're right that it is small, because you can see like each of the individual teeth is like just a full color,
It's just
which
a
means
blood,
like,
yeah.
It's
and it's not, because like, I don't know anyone who's capable of painting on the level that the Full Metal people do, or whatever, heavy metal team. But yeah, this must be so small that it's like the tip of a 00 paintbrush or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas? I was thinking Soulblight.
I was thinking the same thing. Something
Really?
Soulblight.
Yeah.
This
I don't
looks
know.
like
There's
a
something
creepy, like mutated vampire sigil of some kind. So
yeah.
And with all the rumors coming out that Soulblight is kind of on the horizon, that would make sense, right? Because we know that they're not going to be super soon. They're going to be like we know that Orcs is like basically out.
Yeah.
Gitz is coming next. We know that.
Yep.
And then after that will be Soulblight. So I think like, 2.5 months lead time on a rumor engine doesn't seem completely unheard of, right?
Not only is it unheard of, it's kind of almost the ideal amount of time that I feel like we should get these things. Like you don't want to, like we got that spider one that's rumored to be the a new incarnate, and we got that like what 3 years ago.
I think it's
Maybe?
2 years, but it's been a while. Yeah.
It's been a while. Like it was before Gits came out. I remember that. It was a good amount before because we're like, well, obviously this is going to be like a new Spider Rider. What's this called? Cave Spider riding.
Ragnarok.
No. I was thinking it was like because there used to be a resin guy. It was a Ledivicus, help me out. It's on Giant Cave Spider, something on Giant Cave Spider. I can't come up with it. But anyway, it was a resin model, and then they cleared it out for AOS 3. But I remember we got shown it beforehand. I thought it was beforehand. Maybe I'm wrong. Because of the factory issues. That's what we heard, Brayden, but there's been someone leaked a picture from some book of like a new incarnate looking monster with that face. Scuttle Boss. Thank you, Ludovicus. I knew you'd get it. Yeah. So that's what we were thinking beforehand. I mean, that is another rumor though. Brayden could be right. Like who knows? But all that to say, yeah, I would love to get them within 6 months of release because that way it's a lot more fun. There's like, you feel like you want to guess. By the way, for the for that painting thing, I did like a rumor engine, hey, for my model. But anyway, yeah. So I think you're right. Like, so I do think it looks like a vampire face messed up, even though there's no teeth. It just kind of reminds me of like Dracula's doorknob or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't even know, but yeah. Cool.
It says that it's a tiny little 40k chest emblem.
Oh, that's very possible.
Could be the
I could
case,
see
yeah,
that.
for X brand Chaos Space Marine or something.
Right. Yeah, I think there's like a room. I mean, we do know they're getting like Slanesh 40k stuff. So I could see this being something like that, you know. But anyway, I do like this rumor engine though. I actually think it's cool, even if it ends up being for 40k. It's just kind of a cool sort of style, you know, to do it. It gets your imagination going. That's all I really ever ask. Cool. So we got a huge battle scroll. Some people are calling this the best battle scroll we've ever gotten. I wouldn't go that far. I don't have a specific one in mind, obviously, because you know who thinks about like landmark battle scrolls, right? Actually, whatever was after, what was it, Bounty Hunters or something, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like, God, I can't believe, like, I want to get rid of that stupid GHB.
Even then, that wasn't Bounty. Or that wasn't a battle scroll. That would have been a GHB.
It was a GHB, but I think there was probably an accompanying battle scroll of some kind that went along with it. Maybe not. I don't know. But like, all I really care about anyway, it's a really cool battle scroll because it's really shaking things up. The nice thing too is that we're not getting like, it's not something you have to pay for, right? So in that regard, you know, it's really cool. Yeah, I mean, like the sub commander thing is huge. That's probably like the single biggest change, I think, like universally for everyone. It's so important. And they've also added a bunch of heroes to what you can take for that. And like, I've been really enjoying Flesh Eater Courts lately. And Flesh Eater Courts got the biggest, like, addressing, I think by far, like, I didn't pay too much attention to the armies that I don't play, but like in terms of what I play, like honestly, it was everything I could have possibly asked for FEC. Braden says, my Fire Slayers are loving the extra movement and my FEC are loving the total overhaul they got. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I didn't remember that you played Fire Slayers, Braden, but our friend Alex is playing all Magma Droths and he's like just wrecking like everything. It's crazy. They're so deadly. they might have jumped the shark for Fire Slayers. Like, I don't know. Like, I haven't played them, but like, I'm hearing they are terrifying now. So that's nice. Like, it's good that they're shaking things up. I played a game of Flesh Eater Courts, and I don't think it was like a optimized list, and it was kind of insane. Like, it did really well. I felt kind of bad. Like, it was that lopsided. Like, my opponent charged in on his turn rather, and I killed like maybe a third of his army in his turn. And yeah, it's pretty wild. I think they're really good. You're loving your Fire Slayers, Nurgling. That's an interesting, like, so if your grandfather's favorite Nurgling, but you're playing Fire Slayers, like, that must be some like awkward Christmas dinners. You know what I mean?
Moonlighting is Fire Slayers.
That's fair. I mean,
Nurglings are short. They're stout. You know,
that's true. I never thought of that. They're naked.
yeah. And if it's at nighttime, you might see like the general silhouette and be like, "Is that a Fire Slayer? I think it is." And then
Carson
when they pass
has brought
by,
me around.
too stinky, and you're like, "Nope, that was definitely a Nurgling."
Yeah. Like, because Fire Slayers are stinky, but they're not that stinky.
Yeah, it's more like a BO kind of like
right,
unwashed leather.
Yeah,
sorta.
Yeah. Sandalwood. Ugh.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Not good. Fire Slayers that didn't take a shower. Did any of them shower? I thought they just bathed in, or maybe they do in lava. Yada dee, yada da. Anyway, moving around. What was the biggest like take for you from the Battlescroll?
There's a lot of infantry in the game that like is real fast now. So like one of the big problems that we had before was you had infantry that like its war scroll was pretty good, but it just couldn't like close gaps whatsoever. And that's kind of why like Fire Slayers was being left behind, Nurgle was being left behind, FEC to some extent, but Morbegs were still being taken. But now it's like it's much better. And just like, yeah, it's the speed that's been brought back to the game for infantry is kind of crazy. Right. Because just as an example, like if you take executioners in Cities of Sigmar, you could still move them quite a lot before, but now you can just walk executioners 16 inches in one turn and then, then charge. Yeah, which is nuts, which is like crazy that they're just like speed walking like as fast as they can across the battlefield. The way that you do that is basically you take the Cities of Sigmar sub-faction for +2 inches movement on turn 1, and then you have the sub-commander for another +2 inches movement. And then you have the Sorceress on Black Dragon for 3 inch, and then you have the +3 inches movement, and then you have the Order for move 3 inches. So that's +10 inches, and they're base 6. So they're just that's
effing crazy.
0 dice rolled to do that. It just happened.
Wow.
And
can you do it for like your whole army?
Yeah, it's an aura. It's all auras, or rather, I think
except for the Order.
No, the Order's an aura.
Oh, is it? Oh,
no, it's not.
Right?
Never mind. Yeah. You're right.
But still, like, okay, so one thing, yeah, like, okay. Yeah. I guess my whole army doesn't have to move like way over on the other side there.
Exactly. Yeah, and then you have armies like Fire Slayers who were moving 4 inches in the first place, and it's like, congrats, you got a 50% move bonus, which is huge, right?
Right.
That's it's nuts how fast infantry has kind of become. So that's the biggest thing. But I think that they gave a lot of really interesting changes to a lot of armies too, both points wise and rules wise. So yeah.
Right. And I just want to highlight Ludivicus's comment because I think he hit the nail on the head. The Fire Slayer stench is totally mid-can. Nurgle is the sludge at the bottom of the can smell, so that makes sense. And Braden says, how about that 10-point glutton drop? How are you feeling about that, Carson?
Sure.
Damn. Oh, man, that hurt my soul, Carson. Jeez.
Yeah. For a little bit, there's like a little twinkle in my eye where it's like, maybe I can make an ogre's list work, and maybe I'll bring him to LVO. And no, it just so it just doesn't work. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think they're interesting for teams. I can get into that later, but sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say I'm sorry to hear that. It's, it sucks. Warpstone says, can we talk about how the update document is 15 megabytes? That is unusual, I suppose, for the document. I mean, there are pictures and they're using like super high res backgrounds and stuff like that. I didn't really think about that. You know what I mean? Because like, I'm not really actively developing websites. Like what's crazy is we used to have to keep our websites when we were in school under a certain amount of kilobytes. So just for facts, the fastest loading possible. And then, you'd go to like another major website and it was like, hundreds of megabytes, like 150. And so anyway, sorry, another digression out of the way. Okay. I am sorry to hear about gluttons. Can I talk? I'm actually glad that we didn't get to talk about this right away, because all I really was looking at, all I really cared about was Skaven. And this is the one thing that they really effed up, I think, is the Skaven update. Eric was saying to me, like, I've refused to believe that there isn't like a really good list in there with all that green on there, but everything they buffed is garbage. It's actual trash, right? And so actually the biggest thing in the update, like for the Skaven, is the universal update, because, you're moving your movement for infantry and stuff like that. So it's adding another 2 inches to your 3 claw steps ahead. And I already said from the beginning that the Warp Seer is the best Vermin Lord. So if you're adding 4 inches onto that, it's really freaking awesome. So you're moving like 10 inches on average for most stuff. That's really cool. And I love it. And they did another thing that I was asking them to do, which was raise the cost of Rattling guns, because they were undercosted, right? But, okay, where do I even begin? So like they were like, yeah, we're basically taking all of the like foot heroes that are not a wizard, that are not a priest, and we're making them sub-commanders, right? Do you know what model they forgot, Carson? Out of curiosity?
What's that?
They remember the Galvanier, they remember the Bombardier, they remember the Engineer, all of which have plate depending on your build. But they left out your friendly little Master Molder, who's not a priest. He's not a wizard. They added Zogrok, but they left out, they added named characters, many named characters. You could take freaking, what's his name? Gormain as a sub-commander. You can take Zogrok, but you can't take a Master Molder? He's trash anyway. They made him worse in the book, and you can't take him as a sub-commander. And they didn't buff Rat Ogres. They only buffed the straight-up monster mash garbage. And then, remember how we, like, during that podcast... I'm sorry, I have to get this off my chest, guys. I'm sorry. Do you remember during that podcast how you were like mathematically figured out that Rattling guns basically always do more damage than Scourgers unless you take the hero and you're firing into non-Night Haunt cavalry? Do you remember that? So why are Scourgers still 190 points and Rattling guns are 170 points? Do you know what they made me do, Carson? I had, as you know, 6 Rattling guns and 6 Scourgers in my list. And it was perfect, okay? And now, by adding 40 points onto it, they have made me change my list from 1 of each, 1 Rattling, 1 Scourger, to 2 Rattlings, because that's the only way I can fit 2 sets of 6 Rattling, or 6 weapons teams. Can you explain that to me, Carson? Why am I now taking more Rattling guns? Because it's the only thing I can fit?
I don't know. Honestly, the whole weapons team debacle feels like
it's crazy.
Fashion of the week in a way, because it was just like, I think before everyone really kind of realized what was going on, it was just like, oh, Scourgers are so good. They're going to be so good. And then the book came out and it's like, Rattling guns, that's the new thing, man. And now I see people being like, Warp Fire throwers, those are pretty cool. I'm gonna run those. So I see a lot of people like sticking those in their list now, but like minimum size units or like, yeah.
For sure. Well, I mean, even when the book first came out, actually, to his credit, Vince Venturella on the Skaven book review, he was talking about warp fire throwers from the beginning. I always liked them. The issue I have with warp fire throwers is they've got like a 9 or 10 inch range, and sure, they're a lot cheaper. 10 inch. That's what I thought, but I haven't actually put them in a proper list in a while. And you know, with the what do you call it? 3 claw steps ahead, you can really move them in a position to make that things difficult for your opponent. But a 10 inch range is so easy to just walk out of. You know what I mean? That I'm just kind of like, even if you do like let's say you even have like, you keep it so that like only one of them is in range. It's like, okay, there might even be like a good strategy to like walk in so they can shoot one warp fire thrower. You know what I mean? Or something like that. It's like, if you want, you could totally do this. Like, this is, this is going to make you waste your CP probably, unless you have an Arch Warlock. Anyway, so while overall, I actually do think that the update was amazing overall. Like, I actually think it's really good. Overall, I think that like there were a couple of armies where they, for lack of a better word, kind of phoned it in. Like, I actually wrote them an email and I said, like this is surely not making, like, I want to run Molder. That's what I want to paint the most, right? But like, I can't play them in a battle report against you. You know what I mean? I can't play them against Kenrick's Stormcast. You know what I mean? Like, we took so much flack after putting you against Will, and Will won that matchup at a tournament. He went 5-0 with that list, and then all the comments in the video are just like, oh, like, the Iron Giants were so bad now, and they were never gonna win this, and like, it was better than it was. Anyway, so I can't take Molder. They need to do something. They need to help me. Rob getting all riled up about the Master Molder. Thank you, Ludivicus. He says he loves this show. I am a man of passion, okay? I'm a man of hype. Yeah.
I agree with you on the Molder side of things. Like, I think that they didn't do enough to make running Molder really worth it, and by any means. But I disagree with you where I think that where you say that they messed up Skaven, because I actually see more people taking, like, they're branching out into more War Scrolls now. Because like I was talking about with the Warp Fire Throwers, I see like Matt Beasley running Warp Fire Throwers, and Matthias. I see people running Storm Vermin because they got a 15% points drop, right?
To be fair though, too, Beasley was running Warp Fire Throwers before the update.
He ran, I think, one minimum size unit of one at one tournament.
Yep. And I mean, and so was Vince Venturella. Like, he was all about them. Yeah. I haven't seen our good buddy Matthias. Anyway, I do think that like they kind of are forcing like a lot of the people who were already running a lot of Rattling guns into some variety. But like, honestly, like, even just dropping I mean, there's so many things they could have done. Like dropping Scourgers down, right? Like, there's so many things they could have done, but it's fine. Like, eventually, like right now, it's mostly not Skaven players that are complaining. It's mostly Ironjawz players that are complaining after the book got leaked on, on what's his name, on Honest Wargamers show. But, Jason Mankelson gifted 5 subs. Thank you so much, Jason. That's really kind. Don't forget, Ludivicus can't get hit.
I know he can't get hit, but it got me excited because he said, "Hello, Jason," in between all of the messages of them being announced.
I know. Oh, that was like the perfect message. It's like he's like, shaking his bum at him. That's very generous, though. Thank you so much. Congrats to Mookie, Gatekeeper, Dale, which is crazy that Dale got one. Chris, Kennedy, and Lofton didn't go down in points. Yeah, I actually agree, Darktron. I think that the Deceiver should go down in points. I think that the Warp Seer is already better. So, yeah, like there's a few things like that. It doesn't matter. Like, I actually wanted to see, what's his name? I tried Vizic. like he went down 50 points, which seems like a lot, but like he's still not even in the ballpark. Like he's just going to get shot off and it's fine. But unless he had like if they change his ability where it's like you can make them -1 to hit and wound in the shooting phase too, like if he had access to that ability in either phase or something like that, even if you had to pay a CP for it or something, they just made something interesting or made rat ogres more wounds. Like even if they took them to 5 or 6, they were at 6 before, you know. There's just like there's so many things that they could have done. Instead, they gave Screech an extra cast, and I'm not running him anyway. I'm never going to run him anyway. And the Plague Furnace and the Screaming Bell went to a 13-inch aura instead of 6 inches. But like I mean, I don't remember what the Plague Furnace is, but the Screaming Bell's 350 points. Like, I'm just going to take a Warp Seer. Like, what are you, nuts? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to take a Warp Seer, or I'm just going to take Thankful, or I'm going to take both. But anyway, it's fine. It is what it is. Like, as I was saying, it's mostly the Iron Jaws people that are kind of really, you know, on watch. I don't want to say the word, but like, you know what I mean? They're kind of down in the dumps. But like, I'd say to them what I say to a lot of people when your book comes out and it kind of stinks. It's not going to be that long before it's fixed. You know what I mean? Like, paint up the stuff that's like the best in the book, like the Ard Boys and Zoggy and different things like that. And eventually it'll come around. It just means that you don't have to hurry and paint things. You can just like, and that's what I'm doing with Skaven. I'm just taking my time. I'm painting them, and I'm having a blast. And I said this from the beginning, like Skaven are not going to be that strong because they are an edition army. You know, whoever goes up against Stormcast are usually poopy. And honestly, Skaven are way better than Cruel Boys were in all of 3rd edition. They're way better than Nighthaunt was in all of 2nd edition. You know what I mean? Sorry. They're probably better than Khorne was in 1st edition. I don't really remember Khorne. Anyway, it's fine. Overall, honestly, it was a killer battle scroll, especially the FEC updates. The FEC updates, like, could not get NDP to save my army's lives. And now in my game the other day, I had all of my heroes maxed out. I think I had all 4 heroes maxed out on NDP. Like, what a difference! That's crazy. So,
yeah, FEC has become a. I was about to say problem army, but that's not true. They've become very good. I think.
Yeah,
they've become
I think
very.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting is that you have a couple armies now that are showing back up into the game, which are introducing like board presence back. Because in 3rd edition we saw a lot of list archetypes that were just like, I'm bringing just loads and loads of zombies essentially, or I'm bringing like a whole bunch of crap, just filling up the board, and like playing that sort of game. And I think FEC is bringing that back, basically just being like, what can you do about 80 ghouls and a bunch of Mortbike Knights, right? That are going to keep recurring back onto the table. And the answer is sometimes nothing. Like it's a really, really solid army. It's really, especially on like spread maps, it's able to defend really well, where it's like, even if you just get blown out by your opponent, you can be like recurring onto back objectives, kind of like Soulblight can. So it's becoming a lot less huge reinforced hammers slamming into each other and trading like that. So, yeah.
I think this battle scroll, and as such, it's so much better for the game. You know, it's just a more fun kind of game to play now. So, and I'm glad to hear that. Ludivicus said that he's seen a few bell lists starting to sneak in. We'll see. I mean, I'd be happy to see it. Like, I could see that because, you know, with that 13-inch aura of a 6-up ward on a bunch of clan rats and stuff like that, like that's a totally legit way to play. So yeah, that's cool. I hope I'm wrong, you know, but I just don't see it for Mulder especially. I just don't think I am. But yeah. Oh, and Croak is back in a big way. I know some people are happier than others, but our buddy Eric is super happy about it, and I'm happy too. I mean, he's such an awesome model. It's like one of those things where, like, I don't really want to live in a world where Croak or Catacross or any of these like awesome new models like Usharin are not like, highly encouraged to be used. Like I remember when World Eaters first came out in 9th edition, I think it was, of 40K. The best way to run the army was not with their Primarch, whatever his name is, Angron. I had to remember Angry Ronald. Angron. Yeah, so, and that's what I hope that they do with Vizek too. I want Vizek to be like, I want him to be like top tier essentially, but we'll see.
Yeah. It's interesting to see that like in a lot of armies, the centerpiece is one of the correct choices to bring in, like a competitive list. Like Thankful is really good.
Yep.
Catacross, Nagash, Alariel, like Manfred for Soulblight is really good.
And Thankful and Manfred are both like end times fantasy models.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Vermin Lords have always been good ever since first edition. It was the Deceiver in first and second and third. And now it arguably even still is a little bit. But yeah, like I think that's a good philosophy, because it's like I always wanted to play like with a Maw Crusher. If I was going to play Iron Jaws, I always wanted to have a Maw Crusher, right? So it's just like, it's the kind of, but it's like, oh, you look it up and it's like, oh, that model sucks. Okay, well then I guess I won't get into the army. You know what I mean? Because like those are the kinds of pet models that people buy into things for, right? The regiment system, that's true. Yeah, Be'lakor. Yeah, Be'lakor has been. Yeah, Justin. Yeah, that's the right one right there. Yeah, and I agree with you, Warpstone. The bell is fun. If they put it back to 2d6, put the bell ringing back to 2d6. We can't even like summon a Vermin Lord anymore, so at least make us have a little more fun with ringing that bell. Okay. Do we have anything more to say? Because there's so much. There's so much to go through.
There is a lot. Yeah, I mean, we could sit here reading out like every single point's change and all that sort of stuff, but I think just like as a summary, the new top dogs are probably going to be. I think Stormcast stays at the top. Yeah, because they didn't quite do enough to them. I think Slaves to Darkness stays up there.
Yeah.
I think that Tzeentch has been knocked down a peg a little bit, but they're still very powerful.
I wouldn't like venture to say about Tzeentch yet. You know what I mean? Like, I think it might be a little too early to say about Tzeentch, because like we've seen that in the past where it's just like they're just like slap and then they're still there, like somehow through titch snitch trickery. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're essentially playing with one less unit now, which is a little rough.
It is. So that's a lot.
Yeah, it's not backbreaking, but it hurts for sure. I think that FEC is probably going to be knocked up into top 5.
That'll be interesting.
The one that I'm most curious about, I think, is Nurgle. Or sorry, Fire Slayers, not Nurgle.
Right.
Nurgle's okay, but the Fire Slayers, I think we just saw Jeremy Vessier win Everwinter GT, which is like 100 people in Boston.
Okay. Wow.
With a Fire Slayers army. All foot slogging like fire.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's really interesting to see. I mean, he's an incredibly talented player.
Obviously. Yep.
He's been in the hobby for a while, but just to see that immediately after the Battlescroll is pretty interesting. So.
Very interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Ludivicus says KO seems to be enjoying a decent boon. That's his wild card. And by the way, Justin says he wishes Gordrak. That's the big orc Iron Jaws Maw Crusher writing guy. That's so true. And Alex has been talking about that for, I don't know, since like 2nd edition, I want to say, Justin. So one of these days, man, I hope Vizek doesn't turn into Godrak. That would suck. Sometimes with these models, they need to like really rethink them. I think Godrak is one of them. I think they need to like actually like from scratch draw up, like keep the Maw Crusher more or less the same, and then just redraw Godrak. Don't even look at the Maw Crusher for reference. You don't need to do that. You know what I mean? It's like a god model, basically. It's their equivalent, right? But I hope Vizek doesn't become like one of those things, because like I feel that way a little bit about the Mouth of Mork, Gobsprak. I feel like his war scroll is just kind of a little bit off, and I want them to up his points and make him like awesome, make him like an actual model you want to take. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, is there anything else to talk? What about Night Haunt?
Oh yeah, Night Haunt had a big change.
Yeah.
So not only did they get a bunch of points increases, they also had one big change where their ethereal save command doesn't happen as a reaction to attacks anymore. It happens in the hero phase. So it's extremely telegraphed which unit is going to have a 5-up ward for the rest of the turn.
Right.
Which is it's a nerf for sure.
It is a nerf. I've seen some people talk about how it's secretly a buff because it now lasts for the whole turn. So if they're taking mortals in the magic and whatnot, yeah.
It's sorry, my dad. Sorry. My partner just got home. It's a nerf if there's like literally one unit that you have any interest in killing.
Right.
And it's a buff for like almost every other situation. I mean, sorry. Wait,
the opposite.
Other way around.
Yeah. I knew what you meant.
Yeah, but it's interesting. I think that Night Haunt is still good, I think. But I think it's probably been like smacked out of the top 5, probably. I think Night Haunt has been turned into like a well-performing mid-tier army that like could reliably expect a 3-2, maybe 4-1 kind of thing.
Right. I think they've upped the degree of like player skill showing in terms of their results, because it's like if you're looking at it and you're going like, okay, like if you're able to take it and be like, okay, they're going to really want to kill this unit here. And so you're like reading the tea leaves ahead of time and you're like, okay, I'm going to put it on them. And then they're just kind of like, okay, well, he's figured out what I wanted to do. Do I go for it anyway? Is that a trap? Or do I go for something else? Switch up the game plan? Because like they will get to make that unit after you have declared your battle tactic, because the battle tactic happens at the beginning of the phase, whereas it's just in any hero phase you get to choose Discorporate. So yeah, it also helps for charges against mortals against charges as well. So it's working in other phases too. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely think it's going to be like more of a skill. What's the word? Like a way of showing off your skill expression. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah. It's going to be. It'll be a little tough because like I don't think they gained anything necessarily, and then they're another one of those armies that kind of just lost a unit in each of their lists.
Yeah.
And on top of that, with that change to Discorporate, it's going to be. I think they're going to be like, middle of the pack probably is my prediction.
I hope so. I hope they're kind of like upper middle, just because they've been around since AOS 2, the beginning of AOS 2, and they have never been good at all until 4. So I think it'd be cool. Like 6 years of being crap. Like hopefully they're decent, but
and then like 3 months of being way too good.
Way too good.
Yeah, back.
Well, that's what happened to Gitz, right? Like in last edition, they were the worst army in the whole freaking game. And then we got the Battle Tome, in 3rd edition, and they were too good, obviously. But then they just kept hitting them. They're like sub 50% win rate. Cool story, bro, but I still feel like you're kind of a bad experience, even though you're losing. More nerfs. Just like, come on, man. So yeah, I don't like to see it whenever they do that. Like, because like we've all been there, we've all been to most armies in the game have been like a little too good, and it doesn't feel great even playing them when you're like one of the top 5 armies, because everyone just complains at you and make you feel like crap for playing it. And then usually you get over nerfed, and then people still aren't happy. Right. So I don't know. Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I think you're right though. I don't know if I don't know, because like the thing about Flesh Eater Courts that I don't know is they did make that really bold move of changing rules and points at the same time, so that I could definitely see a universe where they are top, but then like you said, like there's Fire Slayers like popping off now, and yeah, I mean, and Braden, what you said earlier, don't worry about it. Like it takes a minute for everyone to really figure out. We just happen to, like, we're talking about Jeremy Vessier, who's one of the best players in the world probably, and then we're talking about Alex, who he's got like this crazy brain and he loves Fire Slayers more than anything. So he's, well, not more than anything maybe, but like he's really into Fire Slayers, and if anyone's going to make it work locally, it was definitely going to be him. So it'll take some time. I mean, there were people winning with Flesh Eater Courts even when they were objectively bad. You know what I mean? But there's matchups, there's dice, there's all sorts of stuff going on, right? So, yeah. But anyway, okay. So should we move on from this delicious, amazing, honestly, overall amazing. That's why I'm glad I didn't. Yeah, right? Okay. When it first came out, I'm glad that I didn't get a chance to, I had a little bit of a rant, got it off my chest, especially about the Molder, but overall the Battlescroll is amazing, and I think they did a great job on it. So kudos to them. Okay, so we do have a preview show coming. Oh, and Jason, thank you so much. If you like the show and you're enjoying watching it, please consider subscribing and giving this episode a like. It helps more people find it, and then we can do more fun things. And we've got a lot of really exciting things planned for the new year, which I know I feel like I've been saying that since before the new year, but we were planning a lot of it for before the new year. And so things have happened, but we've got some exciting stuff coming up. So yeah, please feel free to subscribe and not feel free. We would really appreciate it. Anyway, smooth as ever, Rob. Moving right along, we've got a reveal show, January the 16th. So that's in 9 days from now. Is that a Friday? Yeah, it's a Friday. So that's exciting. Are you going to LVO? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So Carson will be phoning in live, and we'll be doing the reveal show live, I think.
Of course. Yeah. I'll just be holding up my phone.
Sweet.
And we'll watch it like that. Perfect. Yeah, it'll be on the Friday night. They showed us a bunch of preview images.
They did. I've got them. I used it as like a, what do you call it? A thumbnail. But okay. So actually, first of all, let's look and see what games are we getting. We're getting 40K, Sigmar, Old World, Necromunda, and it says Black Library. That's not a game. So we're getting 4 things, right? Okay. So now we look at this. Okay, this guy over here is clearly a Slaanesh, what do you call it? Slaanesh style Chaos Space Marine, right? It's even in purple. I feel like, and I don't know, there's like a crab claw or something over here. I don't know. That seems like almost a little too easy. Okay.
Like Noise Marine or something? The weird like pipes coming out of the back of him.
Oh man, I hope he's got a bagpipe. And it's like me. I don't know. Actually, I don't want it to be made out of human skin, but it's a ball bag. Never mind. So we've got, and none of us really like. Most of us like have some kind of tangential interest in 40K, but that's not what we're really here for. So then I'm thinking that this is probably Necromunda here, like some kind of Mechanicus style Necromunda thing, or maybe just even a 40K thing. Like maybe it's a kill team.
2 40K things.
Oh no, there's no kill team thing. That's right. They're not on the logo. Okay. Yeah. So then there could be 2 40K things exactly, right?
Because you mentioned 4 systems and there's 5 images here, so
Exactly.
one of them's
Yeah.
got to be 2.
That's true. That's true. And then obviously this is a Bray Shaman for the old world here.
Yep.
I saw someone say, what I think it was Roman who said, he said Gray Seer, and I was like, I really want to believe that. But they also told us no models, no new Skaven models other than what they showed for a year. So we're not going to see anything. And there's no Warcry stuff here. So yeah, I'm thinking Bray Shaman for that. But the last 2 are where it starts to get interesting. I think the last one is probably the most obvious in that it's probably Black Knights for Soulblight, especially considering what we're sort of getting teased with. That makes total sense. So the only interesting one is this sort of snail guy. I forgot to bring it up, but I actually clipped the YouTube video. If you guys watch the YouTube video, you can actually see like a lot more of these images. And let me just open this in a new open link. Oh, there we go. Oh, that was dangerous. But yeah, I was just on my phone. That's why it, for some reason, I think I accidentally hit the like vibrate function on my phone when I was trying to capture it. Because it's like when you go full screen and you're trying to do like a capture of like a YouTube video, you have to hit like the power button and like the sound down or some nonsense. So anyway, this is more of a like the full meal deal here. And I think I know what this is. Unfortunately, I think it's Necromunda, because this looks like a little pet that you'll see in Necromunda. I want to be wrong. And if anyone has any other possible interpretation of this, I want to hear it. But
It's pretty small because you can see like the height of the base is always the same for every model.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this looks like it's probably on like a 32 or 40 mil or something like that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I think you're right. It's probably going to be something Necromunda. I think that makes sense.
I love the little like gribblies that they add to Necromunda. It's like probably my favorite part. Or not my favorite. I really like the Malstrain. Oh, that reminds me. There was one other piece of news. They did show off like the models of the year. The 40K. Did you see that, by the way?
I voted, but I don't remember. I didn't see what won.
So I can pull it up. The problem is their new Warhammer community site. I find it very hard to find things on. I'll just say it for AOS because we all know what the models are anyway. The one that won model of the year for AOS. Now, by the way, they are splitting them again. So each 40K gets its own thing, AOS gets its own thing, and then every other game gets its own like competition. Whereas the last like 3 or 4 years, they've been just amalgamating it into one model, which is I think this is a lot better because it's like, okay, an AOS model is never going to win just because the popularity of 40K is too much. And like we really saw that this year. Like if you look at I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. If you look at the quality of the sculpts comparing AOS to 40K like this year, I'm not talking about in general. I don't want to like start that whole thing. But if you're just like talking about like this year, man, the AOS models are so much cooler. Like, so the AOS model of the year was Usharan, and number 2 was Vizik, right? I voted for Vizik, but I thought Usharan was going to win. And to be fair, that model is insanely awesome. And that was easily like my number 2 choice. And obviously I'm biased. But the first place for 40K was Night Lord's Nemesis Claw. You compare that to Usharan? I don't even know how they won. Like, to be honest, like for 40K, I voted for the big mech orc guy just because he's so sick. Like, he just looks so freaking cool. And he's like a standalone model. The number 2 one, okay, I'll give it up for this. The number 2 one is awesome. It's the Rattling guys. And they're sick. So I've got no complaints there. Inner Circle, that's fine. Asmodai, he's cool. Celestian, Sacrament, Aveline, sure. Like, honestly, she's probably like the most classically cool model out of anything here. But you compare any of this stuff, including the stuff that won #1 to Usharin, Vizik, Abraxia, any of those three models, it's not even freaking close. Like, I think this might have been the first year we might have actually won. What I mean? If things were legit. But, and I mean, Grombrindle is sick. Like, even the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, he's a lot more chill. He's more in line with like the other stuff you see in 40K. Anyway, this is another digression and I apologize. But like, man, this year, it just shows how much more they killed it in AOS, I feel like. Was this a vote? It was a vote. They did put a thing up. Oh, Josh, thank you so much. I missed the 99-cent.
Yep, Kenrick's got to eat another burger. Crazy.
He does.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it went from every $7 to like now it's every 99.
It's actually every nickel.
It's every. That poor guy. His doctor will not thank you. No. So. But yeah, man, I mean, like, although, like, and to be fair, in this preview, I think the 40K stuff is actually looking a little cooler than than our stuff. But we'll see. You know, there is like a hope that we finally get that really badass zombie dragon on the front cover of the Soulblight Gravelords Battle Tome from AOS 2. Yeah, it was 2. That's crazy. Way back in the yesteryear of 2020. So yeah. I'm sorry, Ludovicus. What was your theory? I want to hear your theory anyway, because I will like glob onto anything. Oh, it's the huge mother of a little creature on a fungoid cave shaman staff. That would be so sick. You know what though? That's possible. Because it does remind me of that Gribbly, and we are getting a goblin. Although they just showed a bunch of goblin stuff. Like, I can't imagine that they would not show, like, everything. Oh, man. I almost brought it back, Ludovicus. I tried. Is Gotrek the snail of AOS? I mean, you're not totally wrong.
I mean, Orticulus Slimux is the snail of AOS. He's literally a snail.
No, he rides a snail.
Isn't he a snail?
No, I think he's like chilling on his like Alice in Wonderland style snail couch, right?
Yeah.
I was, you know, like I was freshly into AOS when Nurgle, I think Nurgle got their big release. Was it AOS 1? Or was it AOS 2? No, it was AOS 2. I think AOS 2 just came out. So, yeah. Anyway, I remember that. Like I've always kind of disliked, no offense, grandfather's favorite, but I've always not always. When I was a kid and I was into Warhammer, I really did like Nurgle. But then I got really sick in my 20s and that stuff wasn't as funny to me anymore. And so I've kind of been like not into Nurgle since then. But when that release came out, I was like, my God, did they kill it with these models? And I still think that like some things need Mulch is the snail. That's right. What a godlike name. I forgot that. I did forget that. Oh man, that's so sick. Anyway, these are the preview images we've gotten. I'm sorry, Ludovicus. I think that's Necromunda, and that disappoints me as well. And it would be kind of symmetric too, where they've got like 40K on the outside, AOS on the outside, and then Necromunda. You know what I mean? And they're kind of going in from the bigger games. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that. I also think that these models probably, I would imagine for the Soulblight stuff, there's obviously going to be more. But
obviously,
all of these models have like, sorry?
Well, like how obviously? You know what I mean? Like
last year at LVO, they showed the Kroot army box, and I have a feeling they're going to show like a similar amount of models for Soulblight. Yeah.
Well, obviously we need to get Graveguard. Like
yeah, Graveguard, Black Knights. And I guess that's pretty much it.
Zombie
Yeah.
dragon?
Zombie dragon, maybe. Yeah.
Could we get Aberash? Like an Aberash mother effing zombie dragon riding mother effer. Like, Aberash is like one of the coolest characters from the old world. He didn't get nearly enough love. Everyone loves him that knows anything about his lore, right? And he is like the, what do you call it? Like, he's literally the inspiration for Castelli, the Castelli faction for Soulblight. I mean, that's who it should be. I know Prince Vordry is called a Mortark, but he ain't got nothing on Aberash. Aberash
That's
is
true.
my king. Yeah.
The point I was trying to make though is that all of these
Sorry.
models have like relatively narrow profiles, so it was
True.
easy to slot them in like 5 side by side. Whereas
That's
if you
a good
had
point.
something like if they did the silhouette of like a zombie dragon or something, there's no way they could fit it.
No. When they do that, they usually zoom way in and it's like a blob of garbage. So yeah, I agree. I hope that's true. Honestly, I think they did a really killer job with this little like preview multicolored window. I think it looks dope. I think it looks great. Yeah. Cool. So okay. Well, then that kind of dovetails nicely with I can't really call anything at this point a main like topic anymore, but we're gonna do some predictions for this year, and so Soulblight doesn't currently have their own rider for the zombie dragon, right? No, they do. They have the old vampire lord, and then Prince Vordry is just the bald one. He's the slick shaped head. The cooler of the two. I can't remember which one is I always play Vordry is the the bald one, and then the one with the helmet is the vampire lord, but I actually don't even know what the real deal is. Prediction Pete. I like it.
Yep. Pete's joining us tonight. He won't contribute in any way, but he will stand there contemplatively the entire time thinking about his predictions for AOS for 2025. And I think that he wants you, everyone in the chat, to also be thinking about what your predictions are, because there's 4 like main headers here. So last time we did something like this, it was like, what does Rob exclusively think is going to happen? What do I exclusively think is going to happen? What do we both agree on? And what does the chat think? So, right. And then we can kind of go and take a look at the end of the year and see what we thought.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Okay. So I think we should set some ground rules out of the gate. Anything that's like heavily rumored and basically already shown in the LVO, no one's going to claim that because it's a little too obvious at this point, right? Gets coming up second, and what, like, we want actual predictions. We want to make this spicy. We want to make it interesting, right? So with that in mind, I'm going to make, okay, and also it has to happen by the end of this 2025 calendar year. So if it gets shown on like Christmas Day or Boxing Day, that counts, right? Okay. My prediction, and Carson will either love this or hate that I'm saying it before him, but it's an Ogre's rework. I think we're going to get an Ogre's re-release this year. I think we're obviously going to get one by the end of by the end of AOS 4, right?
Of course.
We're obviously going to get that.
Yeah.
But I'm predicting it this year. I'm going to say this year.
Okay.
And this is a late Christmas present for you, Carson. You know why? Because you get to disagree with me here, right?
I do disagree.
No. I know. No, but
Yeah.
but you get to disagree with me, and then you win either way.
True.
Because
yeah,
if
either
you
I'm right
get your ogres,
or-
yeah, exactly.
Very true. Yep.
Yep.
I appreciate that, Rob. Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Merry
Thank
Christmas,
you.
buddy.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, Rob. And a Happy New Year. I
Happy
think
New
for
Year.
myself, I don't know
Yep.
if you're going to agree with this or not. I think that every one of the main 4 Pantheon is going to get a book this year for Chaos. So like Korn, Tzeentch,
Ooh.
Slaanesh, and Nurgle. All 4.
Ooh. You can have that one. I think we're gonna get. Wait, one second. So we already have slaves. Oh, that's
Yep.
true. So
And
there's
Skaven.
only the 4 main ones left.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm gonna say, oh man, we're starting to get books left, right, and center. Hey, I'm gonna let you have that one. I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm not gonna, yeah, Korn, Slaanesh, Titsnitch, and Nurgle. Yeah, I like that. That might be nice, but anything ever new to ogres have been some kind of hunter. That's true, but like that was, for Skaven too, Josh, we didn't get anything for like a decade. So it can happen. You got to believe. Actually, it's over a decade. Like we got like a bombardier, some endless spells and crap. Anyway, okay. So, okay, let's find. Okay, now we got. And by the way, chat. Like if you look at the screen, you can see this involves you, right? So if you have a monkey faction, Funky Monkey says a monkey faction. Let's make sure that that's a real prediction, okay? Let us know if it's not a real prediction. We're writing it down. Yeah, actually, yeah. And let's note down who actually says this too. That's a great idea. The chat did not win last time. I need to clear up the record. Ledivicus is slandering me in the chat. I won last time, Ledivicus. I was at... What was I at?
I don't know.
I don't remember. It was like an 80% prediction rate or something.
I demand a recount.
That's true. He would have, but the proof is in the video pudding, my friend. Yeah.
Video pudding sounds real good right about now. Yeah,
Like pudding.
Yeah. Okay, so what do we think we both agree on? What do we think?
That's what I was trying
or
to...
do we just
okay.
want to keep going back and forth until...
That's probably what... That's where I kind of ended up.
Okay.
Okay. So last year we got... Or sorry, in 2023, we got 40K, right?
Yep.
In 2024, we got AOS and we got Kill Team, a revamp. So I'm going to say this year we get a Warcry or something. Like it might not be branded Warcry anymore because I feel like Warcry as a game was like too random, too what's the word? It wasn't like competitive enough, and I feel like they kind of realized how awesome Kill Team kind of is because it's more competitive. So I'm gonna say like either a successor to Warcry or a spiritual successor to Warcry of some kind. A skirmish AOS game.
I'll give you that one.
Okay.
Warcry, successor.
He's letting me have it, everyone.
Or
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Ludivika says, here's mine. Prepare to hate. Gitmob is not the only models gets in 2025. Ooh. So you're meaning, so when you say that, do you mean like with their book, Ludivicus? I'm not hating at all. I like Gits.
He gave us the constraints. I mean, it's just more Gits than just Gitmob in 2025.
Fair. Oh. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so you wrote down that for him. I'm just curious. We'll leave Carson's writings we'll leave it by the book, but I just kind of want to know what you're thinking more than anything. I'm not gonna hold you to that. We got your prediction. Yeah, and I don't think Spearhead is that either, but he's painting a troll. The Gorger Pact and Mob Pit was pretty different. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay, Warcry makes me think of Spearhead. That's fair, but Warcry, like a true skirmish game, is like what do you call it? Like other than Kill Team and Warcry, you've got what's the little metal minis. You've got Malifaux, which is not what I was thinking of just now. And then there's like another futuristic game that's anyway, like it's basically where like you don't have units of guys. You've got like individual models. Infinity. Thank you, Orbstone. That's exactly what could not come up with. I have one Infinity model. So yeah, like something along those lines. That was my Relic Blade. Sludge. Okay. I think he's just saying words at this point. I don't know what any of that means. OBR gets a new unit, non-hero, maybe some archers. I like that. That's a good prediction. Braden's, could you put that down for me? Gets a new unit, non-hero. Are you making the names a little smaller? This is a good idea. Yeah. Index. OBR gets... Okay, so now I need to come up with something else for me.
I haven't done one yet.
Okay.
I think this one's probably going to be a gimme for both of us. I think
Right.
that the changes to initiative are going to move out of the seasonal rules and just become part of the core rules. And so for
Changes
context,
to-
there was a change in the Battlescroll, and this specifically says it's to the seasonal rules, so it's part of the GHB pack, where basically if you are 6 or more points behind,
Right.
you don't get a penalty for taking a double turn, essentially.
Right.
And if you take a double turn against someone and you're not 6 or more points behind, your opponent is just the underdog, period. Doesn't matter if you have less points. It doesn't matter if you have between 0 and 5 points less than your opponent. Your opponent is the underdog for the rest of the game until they take a double turn against you.
Right.
I think that is going to be just made part of the core rules.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, I like that. It'll definitely be part of the next GHB. Yeah. I don't know if they'll like... Yeah, actually, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, I like that.
Like it'll stay with the game past the GHB, is what I'm saying.
Okay, then I'm totally agree with that. I wasn't sure if they were going to rewrite the core rules necessarily, but I totally agree with that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to check and make sure see if there's any. Also, maybe they will fix Necropolis Stalkers so they aren't Dookie Dogwater. I don't know. That seems like a lot to ask. Oh, I see. Funky. I got you. I don't want copy paste index battle tomes for all chaos factions. Right. That seems also like a lot to ask because who knows? Like honestly, the Slaves to Darkness one was so awesome, and then the Auric War Clans one was less awesome. Warpstone says, I predict Nighthaunt will see no significant nerfs and remain in the top bracket. I think both of those things have already changed. They can just do something.
I think he means despite the nerfs that happened to Nighthaunt, they're going to stay top tier.
Oh, okay. But what it says, I predict Nighthaunt will see no significant nerfs. Doesn't that mean they're not going to get any further nerfs?
Yeah, in 2025.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they're not going to get anything more. I don't think. Right. I don't think they're in top 5 anymore. But yeah, I mean, we've been wrong before, like with that, especially with like Soulblight.
Yeah.
You know?
Warpstone, can you provide like what's your definition of top tier? Do you mean like by win rate top 5? Do you mean like 5-0's X% of the time or something like that? Like, you give us some like
Hard data.
quantifiable way
Yeah, totally.
to say top tier,
Exactly.
and I'll update that. Do you have any more? Yeah,
I'm
what's your
sure
next
I
prediction?
do. I need to like get on. I mean, like, and I don't want to go anything stupid. Like, we'll see a GHB this summer. You know what I mean? I don't want to be annoying. 2025. Okay, I'm going to say, I hate to say the same thing, but like I'm going to say Idneth get some kind of rework of some kind. Cuz like we're pretty
Just
early
need more
on.
models? Like,
Yeah, like a decent, at least like an Auric War Clans style expansion. Oh, but then that's this year. Who knows if it's going to happen this year? Nah, forget it. I've already kind of gone out on a limb with my ogres one. Okay, here's one that we can probably both agree to. You ready? We're going to see like a new line of terrain you can buy. Like last year we got like the what are they called? Like those Dominion terrain. You know what I mean? I think we're going to see some probably Skaven style terrain boxes you can buy. But like,
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
right?
New terrain set for AOS. I think that's pretty generic.
I think that's pretty generic. And then you can put like in parentheses if you want, probably Skaven themed or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, Justin says in the chat, I think we will see Chaos Dwarves in 2025.
Oh, that is spicy. I like it. I don't agree. I think they're going to put them in. I unfortunately think they're going to put them. Everyone wants this to happen, to be honest. Everyone wants this to happen. I think they're going to put them back in the old world. Because like it's just so easy to succeed with Chaos Dwarves over there. Like they're an army that people were supporting through frickin' Forge World. So it just makes, I think it makes a lot of sense in terms of their like financial side of things. But I hope you're right. That's one of those predictions where it's like if you're right and I'm wrong, I win because I get the thing that I want. You know.
Would you play Chaos Dwarves?
I did have their their army book back in the day in fantasy, and I did have some Chaos Dwarf models. It would depend on how they did it. You know? Like what's crazy too is like I haven't been a dwarf guy since I was a kid. Like I kind of liked dwarves as a kid. And like, yeah, a lot of it's just coming back. Like Dan gave me this awesome model and I'm like, dwarves are kind of sick. I think he might have cursed it somehow and put some kind of gypsy curse into my brain. Some kind of Australian curse that's just worming its way into my brain. And I'm just like, dwarves are kind of sick. Like they're not that short, you know?
Doesn't matter if they're short.
Yeah.
They don't have to be tall.
They're short kings. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Would. Absolutely would. Okay. But I mean,
Moving
like,
right along.
yeah, I do like Gotrek, and I always kind of have, right? So I don't know if they like, I'm actually now I'm with Alex where I don't want them to combine KO and Fire Slayers. I want like a new, like Duarden army that has Fire Slayers possibly and regular Duarden, but not KO for some reason, you know? But if they do that, they'll probably do like an Iron Jaws, Cruel Boys kind of style thing, I think, where, and then like a big Wah style release. But anyway, biggest engineer hat ever. Yes. Yeah. If they have trains, you'll jump aboard. Hell yeah. I mean, like, I like I really like cavalry and like the whole molten lava, like lava cannon style thing. And I like that they have like those weird bull centaurs and like I forget his name, like Shagroth or whatever, like that big weird winged bull demon centaur guy. Like they actually had a bunch of cool models, and I really liked their infantry. Like their infantry was like sharper. If you look at the I forget what they were called, but their infantry was a lot like sharper, and like they weren't kind of as round. But yeah, 25% of the battle tomes relief this year will not come with a foot hero. Oh, that's an interesting prediction. We can't count Skaven and Stormcast because they got like a huge release. So of the battle tomes that have come out so far, we have, other than that, we have Slaves to Darkness, which did get a foot hero. Now, they're not going to go in with your thing, Matthew, because that is 2025, right? So all we're talking about is what we've seen so far that's coming out in 2024 was Slaves to Darkness. They did get a foot hero. Then if you look at Auric War Clans, they did get a foot hero. Goblins, they didn't get a foot hero that we know of.
Not that we know of yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so far, it's just War Clans. Because Slaves was...
Yeah. No, I know. But I'm just talking about, like, we can't count Skaven and Stormcast because they were they're big releases. So, of course, they're going to have not just one foot hero, but they're going to have several foot heroes, which they did. But like, if we're just talking AOS 4 so far, we're 2 for 2 on what's actually been shown to be releasing. So that's a very bold prediction is what I'm trying to get at. Auric War Clans, like you're already starting off with Auric War Clans. That's a bold prediction. I like that. I don't mind that. I'm going to say like probably like 90% of them at least get a foot hero. Right. Okay. What else do we have? Oh, by the way, shout outs to Pat. He ordered me a Squig bottle opener.
Cool.
I use a bottle opener on like my GW paints, as a lot of people will know by now. And I originally ordered it from Merchoid, but it was like, what? $13 more, and it doesn't release until what is it, March or something, and it's already on the GW website, and he was placing an order for Doom Wheels and stuff. So the reason I use a bottle opener is because it's like a really great way of getting your GW style paints open. And if you paint a lot, like a lot, I used to use my thumb to pop them open because it's like a really controlled way of doing it. And one day my thumb was hurting. The joint was hurting really bad. And I was like, what is going on? And I was just using GW paints. And then I figured it out. I was like, oh my God, I'm painting so much that the joint of my thumb is starting to hurt. And my dad was visiting at the time, and he went down and got me a little bottle opener from the liquor store. And so anyway, I got this for that, but it doesn't work. It's too narrow. So I'll just have to use it like a traditional one. I'll just have to open beer with it and stuff like that. So it looks awesome.
Every time you go to open a paint, you'll realize it doesn't work, and then go get a beer as a result.
Exactly.
Like, oh, darn.
Oh,
well,
darn.
time for a beer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's awesome. I'm super glad. It was 22 Canadian. So yeah.
Jevin says, I just want all of Carson's armies nerfed and my armies buffed. Simple as. That's fair. Can't ask for anything more than that.
You know what? I'd take that. Yep.
I wouldn't, but no.
No. Although you'll just borrow my army or something like that. It's not going to really benefit me in the end.
Yeah. Devin, as long as that happens after Worlds, then sure. Because if it happens at Worlds, then, or before Worlds, then we're both screwed. So Congratulations.
Yeah.
Devin's on Team Canada with me as well.
Oh, right. Oh, that Worlds. I thought you meant like the World Championships of Warhammer. I was like, that's a pretty long time
No.
in advance. Short 11 months.
Oh, actually, I guess that's something that hasn't been announced yet. Two important things for me, anyway.
Right.
Specifically, the first thing that happened was I got elected, even though there was not a vote.
Elected.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the new captain of the Pacific Northwest team for AOS Masters.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm Captain Traitor because
That's true.
British Columbia has betrayed the rest of Canada to join the Pacific Northwest. And then
As we
also
should.
I made Team Canada as well for
Congrats, man.
AOS World. So I'll be going to Austria in late April.
In late April.
On my
Nice.
birthday, actually. And my partner's
Crazy.
birthday, which is less fun. But yeah.
I mean, I already knew about all that stuff, but congratulations. That's super exciting. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you'll have a great time, and like the team stuff just looks like the most fun I think you can have in like a tournament in general. So yeah. Canada podiums. Oh my, that is bold. At Worlds? Wait, which one is Worlds? Like
The teams.
Oh, the teams.
Yeah.
Oh, Canada podiums.
That's right.
Whoa, that's
my prediction.
bold. That's
And if you
bold.
don't agree, you're not Canadian. That's my prediction.
Followed
Applies to
by
not
a
many
long. Is that something for AOS? I guess that is. That's not like something. I mean, that's a bold prediction. I'll allow it on its boldness. How about that?
people. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. No, anyway, back to the AOS related predictions. I think we should probably maybe speculate about what the Battlescroll, or sorry, the GHB is going to be like in the summer.
Ooh,
Just
I
because
love that.
I think that the GHB that they gave us on release of AOS 4 was intentionally very simple. There's not a lot of like
Interesting.
changes to it. It's basically just like pick an honor guard. That's it, right?
Right.
Or now it's pick 2 honor guards potentially. So I think, yeah. What do you think? What do you think could change? Because if we see something that was like the end of 3rd edition that just completely flipped everything on its head with Primal Dice and like Blizzard and stuff like that,
Right.
what do you think? What do you think they're going to be doing?
I'm going to say what I want to see. So, in the competitive community, right, we saw an inclination towards, as the game moved along, we saw an inclination towards more and more and more difficult battle tactics. I think we're going to see a little bit of a step back. I think when they come out with that next GHB, because I think that they're like just a little bit, I think they're a little bit too difficult right now. To the point where it's not good for the non-competitive community. You know what I mean? Like you really like, and I don't think this is a bad thing, but I think they've kind of forced us into designing our lists largely around battle tactics, and it gives like, I've been, like just seeing like chatter online. A lot of people talk about how they're not, it's just like, they feel like it takes too long to pick it out because they're a little too difficult now. So I think the level of the final season of AOS 3 or even the one before that was kind of like a good in between, the competitive, because like it or lump it, most people are not in the competitive tournament going scene. So theoretically the game is designed for the vast majority of people who are just playing at their local game stores and such. So that's my prediction. So is that quantifiable enough? I think that the consensus will be that the battle tactics in 2025 will be easier than 2024. And that could be general, or it could be like the faction specific stuff. Let me know in the chat and in the comment section later if that isn't quantifiable enough. Because like,
I think it's fair. Like we
right?
can,
because like,
yeah,
I don't remember anyone ever disagreeing that the battle tactics got more and more difficult. Like each season we were like, they got more difficult and that's great. And everyone was kind of happy. And so I feel like, you know, and if it's like, if people don't generally agree that they're easier, then I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like if there isn't a decent enough consensus, and I'll have to leave that up to everyone. So,
yeah. I think one big thing is that we have access to less battle tactics now, where previously, what was it? You had 6 core battle tactics and a bunch of book ones as well.
That's true.
Or no, wait.
No, it was more than that, right?
Was it 4 book ones or 6 book ones?
It depends on the army. Like Skaven had 4, and they were all bad. And then we got one later on that was actually pretty good.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, like 4 or sometimes 5 book ones, and now we're just getting it for factions. That's a good point, but I do think that I think that they'll make them better, or easier rather.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm excited to see what the new ones are. I don't necessarily think they're going to be easier, so I'll give you that one.
Cool.
I think. And also, I just want to catch up on some in the chat. I see that Freddie says that the GHB will have terrain interaction as one of its features, which is kind of interesting.
Ooh,
interesting.
That's
idea.
really interesting. That, and actually, Ludivicus did bring up something that I wanted to bring up, but I'll cede that to him because he brought it up first. I think they're going to bring back the monsters in the next GHB. That was my first thing that I thought of, actually, because right now it's so cavalry based. And we're moving into an infantry season, and people are kind of complaining about the lack of monsters and their viability. So yeah, I think that's a really solid prediction. I think that's actually a lock, almost.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now I'm trying to think. What would be something that they haven't done before? Because we've seen regiment-focused things with the Honor Guard. We've seen magic-focused stuff with Primal Dice. We've seen Bounty Hunters, which was infantry-ish. That was infantry, wasn't it?
That was anti-infantry. Well, it was both. Yeah, infantry for scoring, but then anti-infantry for which it actually ended up as anti-infantry because you were doing extra damage against infantry. And so it was just, or I think it was battle line. Wasn't it battle line?
Oh, you might be right. Yeah, when battle line was
was a thing.
Profile.
Yeah.
That's right. Bonuses to MSU is a cool idea, Daniel. I think
I would like that. Yeah.
I'll write that down. GHB has bonuses for MSU. This is redundant, but I'm saying MSU units. Minimum size units.
I like that.
Honor Guard will go to advanced rules. Interesting.
Honor Guard will go to advanced.
Yeah. Also, you can scroll down to see all the stuff I'm writing if you want.
My bad, y'all. Nice. But then we don't get to see Thinking Timmy or whatever the heck you called him.
I'll put him at the bottom too.
Oh,
okay. Predictions Pete.
Predictions Pete.
Yeah, he's looking up and he's saying, geez, your guys' predictions are looking pretty good.
Especially the chat.
Wow. That's what Pete sounds like. Wow, your guys' predictions sound, they'll look pretty smart. Jeez.
Gosh, gee willikers.
I'm a conventionally attractive man.
not a thought in my pretty head. Battle line non-mounted might have been under a certain amount of wounds too. I think you're right, Devin. Yeah, was it 6?
His name is Dennis, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Menace?
Yep.
Is it
That's right.
the Menace?
It is the Menace.
What?
Sir Dennis, the Menace.
Sir? He was knighted?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah. Didn't even know he was British.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think of more GHP related things.
The problem too is like I think I've already been too bold. You know what I mean? Like my ogre's rework kind of out of the gate. I'm just like, yeah, probably not going to happen. Like I think probably in AOS 4, like that's a solid prediction. But this year might be a little too bold. I like my Warcry thing though.
Right. I think that regiments will be fundamentally changed in some way. The way that we structure regiments will be fundamentally changed in some way. I think that they were tinkering with it right now where they made a bunch of the heroes like more easily accessible to some commanders. Okay. I think some other fundamental change is going to come to how regiments can be structured.
Like, can you give me an example?
Like,
because I think that's kind of a lock too, because they've already like, would you qualify? Would you qualify?
How about more bonuses for being? No, that's too easy too. I was going to say more bonuses for being more drops than your opponent, but that's very easy.
I do like it, but like, would you say that the changes that they've already made, if they like, let's say they hadn't made the changes that they did make, would you say that those qualify as like a significant change too? Because I would, and therefore I think that like in the actual GHB, like, I mean, why don't you put that under both then? Because like I totally agree with that. I think that's a good one. I kind of want to get specific, you know, like the ogres thing. Like it's bold.
I think they're gonna bring back extra spells in the GHB. They're gonna make a universal spell lore. That's my prediction.
Ooh, I like that. I'll go in with that too.
Oh, yeah. Both? Okay.
Yeah. That seems. Oh, okay. Is this too bold?
Oh, Freddie just said it in the chat too. I was going to think we stole his idea.
GHB spell lore? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, there's like a good minute in between. Okay, before it gets stolen, I think this is bold. You guys might complain. We'll see. I think that 100% of all books that come out that don't have an endless spell lore will get an endless spell lore. I think 100% of them. Is that bold enough because of the 100% marker? Okay. I mean, it must be bold enough that you're not going in with me, right?
Yes. Is that OKO is going to come out?
And, okay. Wait, what is it?
Yeah. And Gargants.
They don't have priests. Right. Oh, shit. Yeah.
I guess Gargants have King Broad, but...
They have King Broad, but like... Okay.
You want to change the percentage?
Well, no, it's not the percentage. Like, okay, can I say everything except for KO and... Unless it's KO and Giants. Or Khorne. Oh, no, but Khorne already has Endless Prayers. Right. Because, like, honestly, like, Giants are barely a faction. Like, if they made them, like, a gold faction where they can just be taken in any army and they squatted the book, that actually wouldn't surprise me at this point. I don't think that they're going to do that. But, yeah, other than that, like, we don't even know if we're going to get KO or Sons of Behemat this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't. But, yeah. Everything in the army is getting manifestations. Yeah, like honestly, like so back in, I don't. A lot of people won't remember this, but when AOS 2 Seraphon came out, we got a terrain piece, but we didn't get endless spell lore, and it was under the idea that like the Slan created all the spell lores or something like that, so they're never gonna have one. So that's why I kind of thought it was like a bit of a bold prediction. Because like some people say that we're never going to get a Seraphon one, that kind of thing. But I think we will. Like if Seraphon, or anything that doesn't have one, that's reasonable, because like they don't have priests in KO, so. And before they were like, what are they going to do with KO though? Like let's say that's true. Let's say we get everything for everyone and then just KO doesn't get it. So they don't get like an endless spell. They don't get a manifestation lore. They're the only one who doesn't get that. Right? That'd be that for giants I get it kind of more. But like can they even interact with that right now? Like can you make a KO guy like a priest or something like that and take.
No, you can't. You can't ever summon a manifestation in KO.
In KO, right?
Yeah, you have the.
But you could in AOS 3 because they had like an artifact or something, right?
Spell in a bottle, I think is what it was.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Or maybe can you now? I don't know. I forget.
That's what I was wondering.
But yeah, manifestation in a bottle. That's kind of neat. Give them access to like a universal one. This is completely out of left field, but I could see them leaning into like automatons of some kind for KO, or like the steampunk, like summonable-esque like creations, essentially.
And that would be cool, Yeah. Like I hope that they do that.
Do.
But exactly, well said. I like that. And what Justin said was really good too. He said orcs literally complain about Umis building walls and stuff, and yet they got faction terrain. That's hilarious and super true. So
yeah. Devin brings up a good point where you can actually bring a manifestation lore with KO if you take the Black Talons regiment for now, because they have a wizard.
Oh, cool. Well, yeah, and I mean, like, yeah, exactly. That's true. I mean, like the Zeech one literally comes, or it used to come with the endless spells of another faction, which was crazy.
Yeah. Coming up Thrix, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, the Black Talons too. That's a good point. You type slower. Okay. It's a goblin dog. Merry goblin dog. Whoa, it zoomed in on me as I was thinking. Okay. This, I think, is bold. Okay. So, they've told us we're not going to get any Skaven models for a year. So we know we're not going to get any up through June. I'm going to predict in the latter part of 2025, we get some kind of Skaven model. So that's pretty bold, right?
I think so, and bold enough for me not to agree. So
okay.
Yeah, some kind of Skaven model in the latter part of 2025.
Yeah, that's pretty specific.
Yep,
pretty specific.
I think I'm going to say, in addition to my Khorne, Slanesh, Tzeentch, Nurgle, all get books this year.
Yep.
I'm going to say horrors.
Ooh, I like this. Wait, do I want
flag bearers? Well? Bloodletters.
I'm going to let you have this one.
And
I think it's good.
For Slanesh. Are demonettes old?
Yeah.
And demonettes.
Yeah. they're old enough that they're in the same like general vicinity of timeline that they came out.
Yeah. Horrors, Plague Bearers, Bloodletters, and Demonettes all get resculpts.
I like it. It's bold, and I'm not there with you.
As he says, all new books without faction train and or manifestations will get them when their book releases. I'm just gonna do the faction train one because Rob already said the
Right.
things, the manifestations.
It's funny. I meant to actually add that, but I didn't. Demonettes are awful looking. That's true. But was it by design? Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay. Any more GHB related predictions from anyone?
GHB. I mean, like, it's the same kind of thing, right? Where it's like, ooh.
I'm gonna make a generic one.
Okay.
There will be X designation of unit, and then battle tactic to kill X designation of unit.
Yeah. I think that's very solid. Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah. Both of us. I want that too.
Both?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think that's a lock, Carson. I think it's a lock. Yeah. I think, I mean, like, it's too easy to say I think there will be 12 battle plans, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Will there be 12 new battle plans, though?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? They're going to reuse some?
Yeah, I think they're going to reuse 6. Ooh. That's so specific, though. I don't know if I want to put that down. Like, that's crazy specific, right? No, I don't want that on there because, like, there is a chance they do 12 new ones.
Okay.
Like, I'm 50-50 on... If the prediction could be there are either 12 new ones or 6 new ones, I would go for that. 8 new, 4 stay? That's interesting. Okay, yeah.
Well, I would agree with that, too. If there's either 12 or 6, I'd agree with that.
Because Leviticus is saying 8 and 4. That's quite bold, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. Honor Guard becomes a perma rule with rotating abilities. That's interesting. Some manifestations will cost points. That's crazy bold, and I like it. I actually like that idea a lot.
Interesting. Who said that?
Matthew. Has Matthew done a prediction yet? I think so. Yeah. 25%. A bold one too. Oh, sorry. I'll scroll down. So we see Pervert Pete. I mean, Predictions Pete.
Yep. He can be both.
Why not both? Yeah, exactly.
I predict you'll take your pants off. Please. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that was...
Oh, Pete.
Carson, you know what? I love you, man. We always, like, you and I are, like, our absolutely stupid sense of humor. It's, like, just... You know what I mean? Like, these people should see us when we're not, like... we're always saying stupid things like that to each other. And it's just, like, you know, like, the same wavelength. It's going to be a good year. We'll see.
And
Okay.
not the tires. Yeah.
Not the tires, jerks.
Or Michelin men.
Okay. I think this one's pretty good. I think this one's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I think Visick will go down more points. Is that too easy? You're gonna go in with me?
I'll take it too. Like
Okay. I mean, it's one model though. Like, it's a specific model.
Yeah.
I thought that was maybe
terrible. Like
yeah. Okay, well, then, yeah. Oops.
it's in.
Apparently.
It's in.
Okay. I
Visick
like
goes
it.
down more points.
Okay.
I think
Okay. Yep.
this is just going to be like a. I think a Chaos Army will win the World Championships next year
In November.
in November of next year.
Whoa. A Chaos Army?
Yep.
That's bold. Do I agree? Oh, nah, I won't go in with you because that's like I want to like if you nail that, I don't want to take anything from your. That's like left field, because there are way more Order armies than any other faction. Chaos has what, 5? And it can't include Beasts of Chaos.
No, yeah, they'll be gone.
So
Yeah,
you've got
because it would have to be the main 4 Pantheon,
6.
Skaven, and Slaves. Yeah.
It's the main 5 Pantheon now, my friend.
Well, let me know when I can pledge my chosen to the Great Horn Rat, and then I'll.
You can
I'll
right
consider.
now.
Oh,
Yeah,
what do I get?
nothing.
Oh,
But you can do it. Yeah,
that'd be great if you could pledge to the Great Horn Rat and get Retreat and Charge.
that would be freaking sick. Like, honestly, like, I don't want you to have that, but I so love the Great Horned Rat that you should be able to. So, because yeah, I like that. That would be so sick. Oh, man. Okay. I do feel like they should add that to Slaves to Darkness, some kind of rat-themed stuff.
Yeah, give me Retreat and Charge. Do it. Yeah, please.
I mean, it'd be messed up. You know what I mean? And like, thankfully, you couldn't give it to Vanguard or Vanguard, but
You can.
oh, you can?
Yeah, you can pledge Vanguard. That's the problem. Is that you can.
That's the problem, he says.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't give them banners. That's what I was thinking
Correct.
of.
Yeah,
Right.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. This is
I just love in the middle of the battle. There's like 10 chosen locked in combat. And they're like, for the Great Horn Rat! Ah! Yeah.
That's so true. I mean, like anything that like you think of when you think of like traditional Skaven stuff, like Death Frenzy would be insane. But
Pretty good.
yeah. Okay. If honestly though, if they add Slaves to Darkness, like if they add the Great Horned Rat to Slaves to Darkness, I think I'm getting Slaves to Darkness. Like that's how crazy I am. Okay. Is this bold enough? I think it's pretty bold. I think GW finally releases objective markers. Like matte objective markers.
I could see that.
Right?
I'll let you have it though.
That'd be pretty. That's pretty bold, right?
Mm-hmm. I just ordered some objective markers.
Oh, did
I
you?
hope they get here before LVO.
Do you take your own objective markers to tournaments? Oh, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, the neoprene ones are just so great for not sliding around and yeah.
Yeah. Who takes the first big nerf of 2025?
Yeah.
Hmm.
The first one?
First big one, like the nerf bat. So probably there's going to be a Battlescroll spring or early spring sometime. So like late March.
Because it's every 3 months now, right?
Ish. Yeah. I mean, my knee jerk is to just say what people complain about the most, which is probably like Slaves to Darkness.
That's what I was going to say.
I mean, if you want to agree on that, I'm happy to agree on that.
Yeah, I think I'll go for that.
Yeah.
You know what though? Like, but when we see a battle scroll, it's kind of hard to define. Like, I feel like this is one that we can't really count towards, like, you know what I mean? Because like this really is like a matter of opinion. Like it's like kind of, you know what I mean? Like if right now, if we said like who benefited from this last battle scroll the most, I think most of us would say FEC, but like it's such a matter of opinion. Like, you know what I mean? Like if FEC don't end up in top 5, then other people are like, well, you know, Fire Slayers are in top 5 now, or you know what I mean? It's a little bit hard to kind of quantify that, but as just like a general thing, then yeah, I would say that. What does the chat think? Slanesh? Interesting. I'm guessing early March to fix whatever is super busted. Yeah, I think so too. Slanesh ranged spam, says Justin. Wow. Damn, Freddie's saying bold claim Grand Alliances go away. That is freaking insanely bold. There's no way, Freddie, but I love that you predicted that. Factions rotate around and work together following the current lore. That would be that would actually be kind of awesome, Freddie. But seeing as how, like, I mean, currently, what do you call it? Battle tactics work around that as well. I don't see that happening. Very bold. I mean, I think that's extremely bold. What do other people think is the first big nerfs? Yeah, it's so early to tell. Okay. Can we get like something that's super obvious is we're going to get some revamps, right? Like Gits are getting a proper re-release, right? We all agree on that, right? So we're definitely going to get some re-releases, right? Now that's not bold enough, right? Even if we discount Gits getting one, right? So other than Gits and Soulblight, would you, Carson, or would the chat like to make predictions for an army getting a proper re-release?
I kind of already have with the whole chaos things, like all
Right.
the bad. For those
That's
ones.
true. That's true.
And you kind of already have for ogres.
I have for ogres. That's true. That's
Yeah.
a good point. But you're not saying like an army is going to get one. I'm not trying to be picky. Like your prediction is actually more bold. Like you're going to the model. Right. So if you want, do you want to make a prediction? Does the chat want to make a prediction for army, and I'll make a prediction for a specific model? Let's be bold. It's 2025. We are a quarter century past the new millennium. Let's be bold.
Out of any of the, it's going to be Zeech probably.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Zeech re-release. Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. I need to think of a model.
I also, after you think of a model,
and it can't be in Soulblight and it can't be in Gits, obviously. Yeah, please.
I want to have a range of how many kits we each think are going to be released this year.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sick. That's so awesome. I love that. Okay. First, why don't you work on that? Okay, so I need to think of because like stuff like what do you call them? What are the Gravelords elite guys? I already said it earlier. Graveguard, like that's like too low hanging, and I have to eliminate from. And I don't want to steal your thing. I kind of made this pretty hard for myself. Ooh. Okay. Oh man, I think this is too much. But it's me. I hope you guys will forgive me. I think Night Runners are gonna get it this year. Like, I'll say that, like, why don't I just make that my prediction for the Skaven thing? Like, the new models of Skaven is gonna be Night Runners. Right? Like, I think it's a pretty long shot that it's going to happen this year. I think it'll probably happen at some point, but probably not this year. Gets new mounted hero. Interesting. Stormcast fall to chaos. God dang, Freddy, you are crazy. Like, that is, like, honestly, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Like, one of the major predictions was that Stormcast falls to death. So, like, I actually could kind of see that happening in 2020, what, 7? When we get, like, a new edition? Because it's going to be a death edition, too. That's a crazy prediction, man. Let us know if you want that written down. I'm not going to hold you to that. But that is quite the brainstorm.
Now, for the amount of kits that I think, I have a number.
Oh, right.
I want you to think of your number as well. I'm doing a range of 5, basically.
Okay.
That's my, yeah.
So like 5 to 10, 10 to 15.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you look up how many came out this year?
Nope.
No.
I did not.
Okay. Okay. Let me think. So let's see, we got A for that. And then we're gonna get that. Is this including Gits?
Yep.
Including Gits, including Soulblight then, obviously.
Yep. And Orc War Cleanse.
I'm going to say 75.
75 new kits?
You're making me rethink that.
At least go 70 to 75, the lower end of that number.
I was originally going to say 70, but I just thought it was funner to say
My guess
75.
was 25 to 30. And I thought
like,
that was a lot. Like kits.
For Gits? Just for Gits, we're getting like what? 6 or 8?
Yeah.
Question: are we playing Price is Right rules? Just kidding.
No, it's well, I guess whoever's closer.
Whoever's closer. Yeah. So like if I said 20 and you said 10 and it was 16, then I would be right. If it was 14, you would be right. Yeah. Okay.
I'm locking in mine at 25 to 30.
25 to 30. Okay. I will say, oh man, I kind of want to just stick with my guns, to be honest.
70 to 75.
Wait, does Warcry count for AOS?
No, I would say no. Yeah.
Okay, so it's only for, I see. Okay, that does change my prediction. But then we might get like a bunch of crap shown on Christmas Day too. I'm going to say 50 to 55. It's a range of 5, you said, right? Okay, 50 to 55. Yeah, new kits. What does the chat think? Git mob is 5 kits. Yeah, okay. I'm glad I brought that down now that you said that. I thought it was like 8 for some reason. Wait, and when we say, sorry, just to clarify again, we are talking boxes. So like, if it's like, it's not, we don't count Morsar Guard and Ishlian Guard as 2 things. We count it as 1 thing, right? Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll say, oh man, should I go putting that into effect? You know what? Can I change it just slightly? 45 to 50. Just by 5. I'm just going to adjust that down. Cool. Okay. And then I'm locked in. I'm not gonna think about it anymore. Do endless spells count for kits released? Yeah, they do. Yeah, I would say so. Okay.
Faction terrain too.
Faction terrain, because it's a kit for this game. So, but if it's if it's like wreck a crew for kill team, that counts for kill team, not for 40K, as an example. Okay. Yep. This will be fun. This will be really fun. Yeah. I'm down for this. Leviticus is saying 30 to 35. Not War Scrolls. Right. Endless spells count. I'm not sticking to Stormcast Fall. It was an example of, I see, phasing out Grand Alliances. Cool. I like that. Ooh, wow. Sloth Bear coming in with the wild prediction. Did you get this down already? Ogres get an actual named character that is actually an ogre. Sheesh. Very cool. I like that you're writing it down verbatim. It's not Sloth Bear. It's the Sloth Bear.
Oh, sorry.
Because we all know which Sloth Bear we're referring to.
That's right.
It's true. I love that. Man, that's bold. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, man. This is a good bunch of predictions. Like, they're mostly quite specific and I think quite bold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's and I think all of them are going to come true. But most importantly, the monkey faction.
The monkey
will be
faction.
here. Yeah.
Honestly, if they, okay, come with me on a journey. Does anyone first question, has anyone heard of a video game, a fighting game from, I think it was the 90s called Primal Rage? Yeah. In this game, you played as giant monsters and dinosaurs that like retook the earth. And like there'd be little humans running around and you could eat them to get a little bit of life back, right? But there were two apes in there, Blizzard and Chaos, right? Blizzard was like this like ice ape that could like freeze you with like freeze breath. It was sort of Mortal Kombat-esque, and there were fatalities and stuff like that. And then Chaos was this crazy monkey that would like fart at you, and like this green gas would come out of his butt and go along, and then it would make you dizzy, and then you could like combo on them and stuff like that. And like all of his fatalities were like had like pee and vomit, and it was just, he was disgusting, right? Anyway, but like Primal Rage was awesome, right? Honestly, that's like the one fighting game other than Darkstalkers that I really wish they would bring back, but I don't know if it'll ever happen. It was referenced though in the most recent Mortal Kombat game. But if they had like that style of ape in there, I would be so into that. I would be so into an all monkey faction. Yeah.
And they would be called Gurian Ape Lords. Yeah.
I could go for that.
Yeah.
Or what if they were just called like, what if they were a destruction faction called Primal Rage?
Yeah. Great.
Perfect. Day one buy for me. It's coming out tomorrow. Well, I guess I'm broke. Yeah. That's true. And you guys did get the first New Year bingo of me talking about fighting games. Honestly, it was so fun though. My brother bought it for me for Super Nintendo, and it was like the worst version of it because like they censored everything out of it, but like it plays really well on Super Nintendo, so that's more important to me. Yeah. It's right over there.
Right over there? You pointed at me when you said that. I'm
Yeah.
Primal Rage.
I mean, sometimes.
Whoa.
It depends on whether you've gotten enough meat in you or not. So
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair. Reasonable.
Wait, did I leave it at my brother's place? Can I go check and see if it's actually in the room with me or not?
Of course.
Excellent. I'll be right back. I see you really held down the fort there. Okay.
I was waiting with the audience.
With bated breath.
Yep.
Okay.
Ready says Monster Trucks list finishes top 20 at LVO.
Ooh.
Fair enough. Primal Rage.
Primal Rage. I also brought over my Mario Kart, my original copy of Street Fighter II World Warrior, very clearly used game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters, another fighting game, and Super Empire Strikes Back, a game that I beat as a child and then tried to play it in my adulthood and discovered it was the most difficult game ever created. Like, what the hell? Like, was I some kind of savant as a child? Or, like, I don't know, but, like, I remember fighting Darth Vader on the like, catwalk thing at the end of that game, and I could barely get past the first level. It's crazy hard. But, yeah.
Yeah, some of those games are like way overtuned for sure. Also, speaking of the like writing on the cartridge there, that reminded me of if you've ever bought.
I didn't write that, by the way. Then just to
no, I know.
Okay. If
you've ever bought like a used, like SNES or N64 game or something like that, my favorite thing is seeing like property of Timmy Jefferson on it. Not anymore, Timmy. Mine.
That's so funny. Yeah. Because like you would trade games. Yeah, you would trade games with your friends. Back then especially, and that's so true. Or it would say like property of Frontier Video or something on there, because renting games used to be a thing.
Local store that doesn't exist anymore or something like that.
No, I mean, the last one that I knew of went out of business recently in Abbotsford. They had like a video store. I don't think you could even borrow games from it. It was just a regular.
Yeah. Interestingly, you can like rent or borrow games from the library now.
Really?
Yeah. My partner will do that. She's brought home like Switch games before.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense too for like Switch or something where they're like, because those are just little like microchips basically, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, I remember you used to be able to borrow games, and like I think you still can borrow DVDs. And like if you ever look at those things, they're scratched all the hell. It's crazy. Like I don't even think they play. But, yeah.
Yeah, I remember my brother beat me up once because I got ketchup on his Wind Waker CD. So.
I mean, it is Wind Waker.
I don't even know how it happened. I must have been having
You're probably eating meatloaf or some kind of meat-related dish.
Just holding the CD while walking around. Oh, no.
Yeah. Why is physical media dying? I don't even get it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Let me put my Dijon mustard into a Blu-ray player.
Yeah. Put like a whole piece of bologna on top. Yeah. I'll be right back. Okay, can you hold down the fort this time?
Okay, sure.
I'm just gonna put these
if anyone
back.
has any more predictions, let me know. As for moi, so we did like a kits thing. I'm gonna take a crack at guessing how many books are gonna be released, and it's gonna be a specific number, and I think it's gonna be 8. 8 books are released this year.
Does that include the ones we know about?
Yeah, actually, I feel like 10 is the. Oh no, yeah, 8 books. 8 books is my final answer, including the ones we've already seen. 8 books.
Can you hear me? Or
Yep.
could you hear me? Ask if that was including.
It is including. Yeah.
Okay. Like I heard you say that it is including, but I wasn't sure if you heard me ask, does that include Gits and Soul Blight? I think 8 is like the kind of the perfect number. Like it's probably going to be a round number. We know about Orcs. Orcs is coming out in January. You know what? I'm going to say 10. I think 8 is like the safest, smartest number. but I've never been known for any of that jazz.
Yeah.
I've got 10 fingers. That must mean there's 10 books coming out, Carson. I know how this thing works.
You want to see something funny?
What's that?
Can you scroll to the bottom where Pervy Pete is?
2 books a month. Oh my gosh.
Are you at the bottom?
Yeah, I think so. Thought so. Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
See, Carson, you just get me, you know? 2 books a month, all factions out by spring of 2026? Oh, spring 2026.
Yeah.
I mean,
Technically, we won't be able to verify that, but I feel like we'll see the general trajectory.
Yeah.
If there's like 15 books left to do in 3 months, I feel like it's probably safe to say no.
I think that's yeah, we can give it to him at that point, right? Because isn't there 27 factions?
Yes? Question mark? I think so.
Right.
No, there's less than that.
Oh, right, because we got rid of Beasts of Chaos.
And Bone Splitters.
And Bone Splitters, right. I think there was 27 at that point, so there'd be 25 now. Theoretically? Because Orc War Clans is 1 book. Right? 25 if... That's what Leviticus just said.
I see 23.
Maybe it's because we were counting Iron Jaws and Cruel Boys as and Bone Splitters as 3, essentially. Right?
Yeah.
23.
Yeah, it's 23.
Okay. That makes Azri's prediction a little bit more, like a lot more doable, frankly. All factions by spring. Wait. Do you mean by the end of spring? You must mean by the start of spring, right? Because it's by spring.
Yeah.
Because if it was by like June 22nd, then that would be by summer.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's still pretty bold.
Because we've seen there's 3 actually released battle tomes, which means there's 20 left.
Right.
Which means including orcs and gits, we would need to see 20 books in the next like year and 3 months.
Right.
Which seems insane.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. That's why I think it remains very bold. Right around spring. So yeah, so by March 22nd, that's pretty bold. Whoa. Carson's I don't know what he's doing. Practicing for a shoot later. We'll see. Yeah. Okay. I'll wager a slice of sweet potato pie and a pot of chili, Colorado.
I will take that bet.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't remember the last time I had sweet potato pie, but...
I had it in Atlanta with Azri.
Oh, did you?
He bought it for me. Yeah.
That's right. Now I remember. I like sweet potato fries.
Oh, yeah. Nice chipotle aioli with it.
Yep.
I guess you can't have that. Yeah.
I can now.
Oh, can you?
I can now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep. I had... what did I have? Oh, yeah, my brother got, and his wife, this isn't the main present that they got me, but they did, one of my stocking stuffers from them was a Toblerone. And I haven't had one of those in a long time, like 15 years, maybe more. It was good. Damn. Real good. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah. I mean, honestly, though, like, there was a few things I love more than chili, than proper chili. I used to make chili, but I haven't done it in so long. Anyway, back to this. Can you tell I'm hungry? Okay. Do we have any final predictions? Okay. So we didn't last time we did this, once we got to the end of the year, we did like a dice giveaway or something like that. So we can maybe do something similar, but that's why I think it's more fun.
I like the idea that you take all of the people who had correct predictions in the chat and then put them into a wheel and then like give them some dice or something.
That's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that.
Well, and we'll definitely remember to do that a year from now.
I mean, I did remember the predictions for AOS 4. So, and we never promised anything when we were making the predictions, so we won't promise anything this time.
Yeah,
but
we'll give $17,000 to the winner of that wheel.
Did you guys hear that? Carson's going to give away
wait.
$17,000. That's
doll
so
hairs.
Generous. Doll hairs. That's still pretty generous, to be honest. Who's going to fact find that? Yeah.
What?
Exactly. How many's in an average wig? I think you would need to like figure that out, and then just like buy like one too many wigs, to make sure.
Yeah.
Ledivicus laughed so hard losing that spin of the wheel. What? Why? I don't remember. I don't remember that. Like I remember doing it, but I don't remember what the deal was. Monopoly money, by the way. Doll. Yeah, and it's doll hairs, Matthew. It's Monopoly money doll hairs. They're very colorful.
Just gonna send someone like a package full of hair and Monopoly money. Like, Jesus.
It's definitely gonna get stopped at the border.
Like, who hates you? Someone casted a hex on you.
I know. I used to watch this streamer. He's since passed, unfortunately, but he used to do these streams where people would send him stuff, and he got sent the biggest gummy penis, like on the idea that it would like embarrass him or whatever. But he ate it like right on stream because he loved gummies. Like that was sort of the joke. You know what I mean? He ate it right on stream. It was so good. I used to love watching those, like, Flo opens his mail kind of streams or whatever. Yeah. But I was late because I was busy doing cool rat poop. Welcome, Pat. I already shouted you out. I got this, and I told a story about it. A true story. But I still love it. There was like 4 of us or something. Oh, right. You had a legit shot. Still couldn't get shot. Oh, right. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Man, the chat was pretty bad at predicting stuff, huh, Ledivicus? Just kidding. Yeah, you did have a legit shot. I'm kind of like Ledivicus, where because I've never won anything, right? I've never won. I don't think I've ever won. Oh, no, that's not true. I won one thing in my life. And that was like last year. I gave some money to the, Mephisto. He does like a mental health charity stream. He used to do it like once a year. I haven't seen it popping up, but I don't know. I don't know what, what's going on. But during the last one, I did give, and I won, I forget what it was. I think I won like 20 pounds or 10 or 20 pounds to like some kind of 3D printing place in the UK. But then I looked at it and I was just like, this is going to cost me more money. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's like legitimatately the only thing I've actually won in my whole life. But a long time ago, there was like this like really famous, like, or it was a thing for Street Fighter V. And I was like, I was going into, it doesn't matter, but the only time I ever actually won something was like a time when I didn't want to win, but I just put my name in there. It doesn't matter. But yeah, you'll go back and listen to it. It's nothing big. I was just talking about how I actually got this because I wanted to, I don't know why I'm trying to talk you out of going back and watching this podcast, but I bought it to open up paint bottles Pat, like I normally use this thing to open up paint bottles, I just dump paint all over myself. Well, anyway, it actually normally works really well. God dang it. I didn't realize how sticky this stuff is. Oh, man. Okay, I didn't actually get it all over my clothes. I'm going to go wash my hands. Can you please hold down the fort? I'll be
Sure
right
thing.
back.
Yeah. Last 5 minutes of the stream. Cool. Okay, I'm trying to like squeeze out any last possible predictions I have. We've got a lot. I think this is a lot more than we did for AOS 4. I've done a number of kits, I've done a number of books. What else? Pat, if you have any predictions, let us know for 2025 for AOS. Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing, Asri. I was like, I feel like I'm going to clip this later. More GHB related things? Or I guess universal. Oh, you know what they haven't done is a universal. We could maybe a universal prayer lore in addition to a universal spell lore.
That's good. That's really good. Are you guys making fun of the fact that I said it's a lot stickier than I thought? Yeah. I'm using paper towels in case I didn't get it all off. I don't want to rub paint all over an actual towel. Looking whatever. I know what gets views, Asri. I know how this business works now. I'll do whatever it takes to get to the top, man. That's not true.
Actually, I'm changing it.
Okay.
Universal prayer manifestation lore.
Universal prayer manifestation. What's
Lore.
the difference?
So like universal prayer lore would just be like prayers that priests can do.
Okay.
Whereas new models for prayer like manifestations. So you know how like Korn has like the Hexgorger skulls and the icon and whatnot?
Yeah.
There's a universal spell
version
lore
of that.
For that.
Yeah. I'm saying I don't understand what your original what the difference between your original prediction is and that.
My original one was just like imagine Mystic Shield, but like a prayer. Like,
oh, that'd be cool.
Like that sort of universal spell lore.
I see.
Or prayer lore.
I like that a lot. I'm gonna let you have it though, because it's more interesting when we do that. Okay. I'm gonna say we do in fact get another incarnation this year. Some kind of incarnation.
Okay. Not just Kronspine. Or maybe that's the prayer one.
That's
Goes
true.
Off in like an 8 or something.
Right.
Or you know what'd be interesting is that if it was a prayer one where you can summon like a lesser version of it, unless you do like the big one.
Ooh, it's got like
the bigger version of it.
It's got like 2 models or 3 models.
Yeah, exactly.
And what if you can like charge it up and transform it? That'd be sick.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool. What if that guy we saw from the LVO preview is that? It's like the little guy, and then there's like a medium guy, and then there's a large guy. Oh, that'd be awesome.
I summon big guy.
Yeah.
Get him.
And like, okay, and then question, like, can you, if you summon little guy, can you still charge up a big prayer to summon big guy? Like, you can never have 2 of the same ones on the, on the battlefield at once. Or can you just, make him get bigger? Like, there's a few different things you could do. Oh, man.
Yeah, like praying for embiggening of the little guy sounds fun.
Right? Yeah.
I pray for big.
Do you remember that game? It was like asymmetric multiplayer where you're hunting a big monster, and you're like foot guys, and then like it was multiplayer, so like 4 people would play the hunters or whatever they called them, and they got like little jetpacks and stuff. I can hear my phone, but I don't see it. And then there was like a giant monster. Anyway, the monster could evolve. Was it called Evolve? I'm gonna go turn off my phone because that's annoying me.
Yeah, I think you're right. What's called?
About? Was it called Evolve?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think so.
Right? Anyway, that game was kind of cool.
Asri says, every new AOS Black Library book gets a Regiment of Renown if it doesn't already have one.
Say that again? Wait, what is it? Every new AOS Black Library book gets a Regiment of Renown if it doesn't? There's no way. Like, by the way, I am really looking forward to, they're doing Vermin Slayer. It's the next Gotrek book. And I'm going to buy that. Asri's really going for those dice, hey? He's just like, I'm going to put out... You can only get, like, one entry, Asri. Just FYI, okay?
Yeah. It's just if any of yours are correct.
Yeah, if any of yours are
correct. You get added.
Yeah. But he's really upping the likelihood. Yeah. It's a good angle to shoot from. I like it.
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything else?
I was going to say, I think I'm about dry as far as
I think so too. Yeah. You've shot your load, so yeah. You busted two of them earlier. You had both going. Yeah. Throw enough darts and you'll eventually hit the bullseye. Barbecue sauce. Hey, I like it.
Screaming barbecue sauce is like a barbecue sauce.
Yeah. It's a Southern thing. We wouldn't get it, you know?
Yeah.
Matthew says, Hamilcar Regiment of Renown. That is a sick prediction because like people have been predicting a Hamilcar model for a long time. Honestly, like can you make an asterisk that will give it to them even if there's just a Hamilcar model? Because people have been talking about that forever and it never happened. Right? Yeah. That's very bold. I like it. We get the Gur incarnation. What about Shyish? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, as long as it's, you know, some kind of new, because we're not even in Shyish. We're like in, where are we? We're in Gairan /
Akushi.
Akushi, thank you. I couldn't come up with the Room of Fire. And I think we're going, like, I mean, this will be something for a future, you know, AOS 5 predictions video, but I think we're going to Ulgu next time for sure. And I think we're going to finally get Dark Elves. Yeah.
Every time someone says Ulgu, for AOS Masters, the original jersey for the team Ulgu was just like Ulgu all the way down the jersey for some reason, which is just the stupidest. But I loved it. I wish they did that.
Wasn't the Ulgu team the one that all had awesome names for their... See,
yeah.
Where was Ulgu, by the way? What actual region was that?
Southeast. Like
Southeast. Man, Southeast is killing it. Like Georgia, Florida, etc.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Man, they killed it. Those bastards know how to have a good time. I tell you what. Well, we both shot our loads. We appreciate Presto. Thanks to everyone for hanging out. Thanks for being there for us last year. We hope you guys, continue to hang around and chat and watch the videos. If you're watching this later on, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Please, once again, feel free and whatnot to leave a comment on the video. Tell us your predictions for the new year. I legitimately love hearing this stuff. That's why we do these videos, is because I like it so much. And thanks so much. And yeah, anything to add, Carson, before we head out?
Nope. Looking forward to I'm immediately contradicting my statement. Good, looking forward to a good year.
Good year.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Thanks.